Oak of Grand Falls, Windsor, has been sentenced to 22 months in jail for sexually assaulting 4 boys. NTV's Colleen Lewis was there today as the judge handed down his sentence.
One of Grand Falls, Windsor's most well-known residents is going to jail for 22 months for sexually assaulting 4 young men. The Crown and defense had recommended house arrest, but Judge Bruce Short didn't feel the punishment was appropriate. The victims' families were pleased with his decision.
NTV's Darren Bent is following the case.
34-year-old Joseph McGraw was brought into provincial court today, and once again, he didn't like the fact our camera was in the courtroom. And once again, he was making threats.
That big faggot over there on gate you when I get out, buddy. Joe. You're a dead man. And you too, buddy.
Mr. McGraw is a convicted child molester serving a long-term offender sentence. His victims were under the age of 10. In January of this year, a worker at his halfway house said he found child pornography on Mr. McGraw's computer, and at that time, Mr. McGraw's release was revoked. But the concerns about Mr. McGraw's actions began before then, just a month or so after being released into the community. Carolyn Bruss, a worker with Stella Bury Community Services where Mr. McGraw was living, told the court that in July of 2007 there were concerns. She said that adult pornography had been found on his computer. After talking with him, he agreed to weekly checks. He told them a friend who had visited accessed the adult material. It was felt that adult pornography offered a distorted image for Mr. McGraw and may increase his risk to reoffend. He also caused problems at a camping outing and had fake seizures, admittedly, to get attention. The worker with Stella Bury Community Services said that Mr. McGraw had a webcam attached to his computer and that it was pointed out a window towards a local ice cream parlor, and that caused them great concern. Despite agreeing to weekly checks of his computer, Mr. McGraw's lawyer is arguing that his client's rights have been violated due to an illegal search that led to the finding of the child pornography. And with that, he wants all the charges thrown out. The case is continuing. Darren Bent, NTV News.
Torres Cove man charged with 2 counts of attempted murder after a double stabbing has now been denied bail.
Today, Billy Grushi was back in provincial court to find out whether his application for release on bail would be granted. We're not allowed to discuss the evidence or reasons for the decision, but the judge refused Mr. Grushi's release. The 24-year-old Torres Cove man is charged with 2 counts of attempted murder. Last month, he was the subject of a manhunt for 10 days after a double stabbing. 2 men were hospitalized with knife wounds, and one of the men was hit by a vehicle after an incident in Torres Cove. Mr. Grushi was the subject of a warrant until he was found in this home in Conception Bay South in mid-November. He's scheduled to be back in court on Tuesday to find out how his case will proceed.